Malaysia has always been one of the toughest races on the calendar. So who trains these athletes? I caught up with Kimi Räikkönen's right-hand man, Mark Arnall. What's your role over a Grand Prix weekend?
My role is really to make sure Kimi gets what he needs to perform.
God, I wish you'd have worked with me when I was in F1. Don't you think F1 drivers are a bit pampered these days? I mean, you're everything. You're his best friend, you get him prepared, you make sure he eats, you make sure he drinks, and then you're his butler all weekend as well. I mean, they're just so spoiled.
Maybe it's evolved that way. Maybe just the system, the way we've worked has evolved over the years. I don't think I did anything different, in all honesty, with Mika, and that's going back to '97. But I'm not sure with you and your experience how long ago that was, whether people like us even existed for you.
Concussion's a big topic at the moment in Formula One because Fernando Alonso missed a test, missed the first race. Why is it such a big issue now? I remember having 3 massive hits on the head and nobody said, when I was driving, nobody said anything other than, are you ready to get back in the car yet?
Yeah, I think there's a lot more awareness of head injuries in sport, concussion in sport now. Dario Franchitti, if you look at motorsport, I'm not sure whether it was his 3rd or his 4th big shunt with concussion. He sat down with the medical specialists and they all deemed it was just not worth the risk to carry on risking another head injury. What
sort of tests then before a driver can get back in a car and race are required?
Every driver has already done what's called an impact test with the FIA, so there's a baseline measurement that the FIA have for each driver, and if a driver has an accident, like is concussed or has a head injury, before he's allowed to go back into the car, he has to repeat that test with the FIA and be within a specific range. If there's something significantly different within one of those measurements, he wouldn't be allowed to drive, is my understanding.
So which are the toughest races that you actually train and prepare for in reality?
When it comes to toughness, I don't think you can really sort of get more tough than Malaysia, Singapore, just because of the humidity. I mean, you got vibration, you got acceleration, deceleration, you got your body that, I mean, the cockpit of a car is 50 degrees pretty much, and you're sitting in that environment in a race for nearly 2 hours. It's just hostile.
Kimi's the oldest driver on the grid, and it's easy to see now with increased safety and better preparation that you've taken us through that drivers, their shelf life is much longer, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I find it incredible to think he's the oldest driver on the grid. When I started working with him, I think he was the youngest or second youngest. So I think 14 years later, here we are. But yeah, like I say, if the physical demands aren't as high, if you're better prepared, then for sure you're going to be able to carry on for longer.